And we are live. Sanbonani Dumelang. My name is Karabo Dynamite Nyalungu, the leadership that led the leader to the leading lead. Welcome to a surprise interview that I will be having with someone very special to me, a very special friend, someone I grew up looking up to, and this is also someone who holds a very special place in my heart. And this being a surprise interview for me, I think is a highlight of my career. Yesterday I didn't know what was my career highlight, but I think this one is, and you will soon find out why from the man himself, why I say this is a moment of sentimental value to me as I wait for him to come in and join in the live. Feel free to interact with us in the comment section, whatever you want to ask this young man. Very, very profound man, one of the coolest people I've ever met, and he is a child star. He might be you, and this is because he's been at Yo TV for the longest of time. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the one and the only Mr. President himself, former president of Maragon High School, and that is Thato Dithebe. Hi Thato, how are you?
It's a sharp winner.
I'm very good, thanks. Please put your phone horizontally. Just so things align.
Okay. Let's do that.
So good to have you, Thato. I'm telling these people that this for me is a dream come true. And I'm probably confusing a whole lot of other people. But I'm going to allow you the platform to be the one telling the story. Do you remember how we met?
Yeah. We met. We met. Hold on, wait. Let me just fix this because I feel like I'm sharing so awkwardly and people. Yeah, now we good. So yeah, Nalekara Rukopane last year. Week, we stay in the same res. So what happened was, first day of all week, everybody obviously moves in, they bring their bags and everything like that. But then we're in some, I think, but it's a kitchen or something like that. But it's a kitchening about the rope, like some songs, you know. So while we're there, we'll be singing some songs. And come on, one right there in the center who's leading the parade. Correct. I hope you don't like the loudest. I hope they carry the loudest. One girl was leading the entire situation. You know, so I'm like, let me hold back, let me relax. As the day progresses, out of nowhere in jail, Karabo comes up to me. I give meat at this point in time. Karabo comes up to me, and then from there on, beat. Tato, I'm like, whoa, such a segment. Yeah, Tato, go to your team. I'm like, yeah, it's me. I went to Array. I want to speak to you. I'd like to speak to you. I'm like, nah, I wait, sharp, Glenn. You want to speak to me? You can speak to me. I was like, at that point in time, I was a bit nervous. I was a bit uncomfortable because I was like, I don't know you. What's this? What do you want to speak about, you know? And then literally for like the rest of all week, we never got to have a conversation. But every single day, she kept on reminding me, Tab, I need to speak to you, I need to speak to you, I need to speak to you. And then eventually we got to actually speaking. And then I came to realize that this really is one of the most genuine people I have ever met in my life, man. And since
also this woman had a crush on you for the longest of times. This woman was stalking you for the longest of times.
I can't speak on that one.
She also gave you her number way before you met her. Funny story, it was on this very app.
Wow, DM. Well, again, crazy. Even on the day when we finally spoke, you're like, yo, check your DMs. I checked my DMs. And you were like, I want Kali was anything number like a long time.
At that time, the DM is 4 years old.
But anyway, now we're here.
Now we're here. Hey, what do you do, baby? Okay, Thato, you are the second child, the second and the last born. Yeah. So I want to know, what's it like being the second child? You know, you are not the deputy parent. You're also the last born. Did it come with last born packs being spoiled and all those things?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I was born at the best time, like the best time, because I was born when like my mom was good financially and everything, and also secondly, my sister was like 11, my sister's 11 years older than me, so you know I had somebody who could actually be my nanny in a way. So growing up, my entire life has basically been that way. Like I've always had sort of like two moms. My mom would take care of me, my sister would take care of me, my mom would take care of me, my sister would take care of me. So those privileges definitely did come along the way.
Now, you are very close to these people that you are mentioning, your mother and your sister. How would you say that has influenced your relationships with women in general?
Oh man, I think really being raised by a single mother and, you know, growing up really close to my sister, it made me, okay, let me start it up here. one thing that I realized with a lot of gents is that they're intimidated by strong women. You know, some guys will genuinely be intimidated by how strong a woman will be or how strong a certain girl will be, and they'll take that sort of as a turn off, you know, for lack of a
Yeah.
better word. So for me, because I grew up basically in a matriarch, I've always been comfortable with having, you know, whether it's a man or a woman as my leader. I've always been comfortable in those spaces. I've always been comfortable around strong women. I've always wanted to surround myself with nothing but strong women because growing up, that's all that I ever knew. You get
You
me?
were
So
exposed to
in
it.
terms of so in terms of my relationship with women, man, I think growing up, especially under my mom, like that woman she's mad strong. So because of her, like I saw the strength within women, and I think that just also increased my respect for women. Excuse me, my respect for women a whole lot more.
Talking about your mother, she is the woman who took you to auditions when you were still young. So
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
to
yeah.
know, at what point in your career do you realize that actually being on TV is big? Is actually a big deal? When do you realize that? When does it bug you?
I think from primary school, yeah. Primary school, like grade 3, because that's when, like, grade 2 was when they announced that I was going to be a YouTube presenter. Grade 3 was, yeah. So, like, round about grade 3 or so, like, proper, that's when I realized that, oh, damn, like, this is actually a real thing. Like, fame is actually a real thing, because I started getting, like, treated differently at school. Like, I'd get, like, a whole lot of love and stuff like that at school. I was a cool kid, yeah, shop, but I was never like that cool kid. You get me? So being on TV really elevated me to that level of, oh, that cool kid. And then I
Mm-hmm.
remember also in grade 3, there was a talent show at my primary school, and the OTV decided to surprise me. So they sent Akumzi and Musa to come through and be the judges of the talent show that thing. And it was around the
Yo,
time when Akumzi and Musa were still presenters on the show. So when they pulled through to the talent show that thing, and then they were just saying that now they're here because of me, like that also just elevated my status to a whole nother level. It was a thing of like, yo, okay, we see you, Thato. And then that's when like the whole fame aspect started to sink in, man. So I'd say primary school, from as early as primary school, yeah.
now that comes along with a whole lot of pressure, with a whole lot of attention. How do you handle that at that tender age?
I think I never saw it as, for me, it felt natural, if that makes sense. I never saw it as something that other people don't experience, if I could put it that way. I never used to get that. In my head, I always saw myself as a normal kid in gym. I'm a normal kid, just like any one of you guys. I just get the opportunity to be on TV. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So as a kid, that's basically like how I dealt with it. Like it never got to my head at any point in time. It was just a thing of like, all right, cool, sharp. And then on Wednesdays or on Fridays, I get to go be on the show, do my thing, and come back home. You get me? So that's how it's how I dealt with it. The pressure really never sank in at that age.
Now, fast forward to Maragon Private, and this is your high school. You
Yeah.
become the president. I want to know, President Thato, the brand President Thato, does it come before or after you are announced as president?
Before, way before.
So would you say then you were putting it out there to the universe that actually, hey, I'm available?
I guess you could say in a way. This thing is already, I knew, like in terms of becoming the head boy of the school, I knew that I always wanted to become the head boy of the school, you know. But the whole
Mm-hmm.
president thing came up literally by coincidence while we were doing a show, Yudumko, and I just called myself president on the show, and then we decided to run with it like for the rest of the time, like just the whole season. And Jay just kept on calling me president. So I wouldn't say I did it intentionally, but I say in a way the universe got the message.
All right, there are certain things we learn once we are put in a certain position. So you were in a position of leadership and you are president at your high school. What are some of the things would you say that presidency has taught you about yourself?
I think one thing is that respect is earned. That's one thing that I'd say being head boy of Maragon really taught me, was that respect is earned. Because, you know, many people, myself included, I thought that once you step into a certain position, like becoming the head boy or the president of your school, or becoming the manager or something, whatever it might be, once you get into that position, I always thought that automatically the respect is gonna come. And then in my time as head boy, like the first term, I realized that that's not the case. It's not a thing of what blazer thing already born from then on. Quite another guy, people look up to you, people respect you. No, but you actually have to earn the respect of the people that you've been appointed to lead. You know, because once you earn their respect, then they'll be willing to follow you. You get me? So that's definitely one thing that I learned from that experience, is that respect is earned and it's not given just because you're in a certain position.
You're also in the entertainment industry and you've grown in that industry. What molds you? Who is the person, would you say, is the one person that keeps you grounded throughout the hype that comes along with an industry that you are in?
My family, man. Yeah, my family. I'm lucky because within my family, they've never treated me differently. You know, there's never been a thing I thought Tato's on TV. Never, not even once. I've always been Tato, Wanale
No
Rato.
Tazariyan.
You know, it was never a thing I thought I was treated, especially because I'm on TV or anything like that. Nothing at all. From my mom, my sister, all the way through to my cousins and my uncles and my aunts, like nobody has ever treated me differently. And I feel as though that always being around those type of people who always keep me grounded, always remind me of that TV stuff, if I look even brew. Okay, now when I tattoo, if I love for, you know. So being around that type of energy really has kept me grounded and I guess humble, if we could put it that way. Yeah.
Now, we spoke about your highlights, and you said that it was winning the SA's Got Talent, and it was when you were with Kryptonite Dance Academy. So I'm very interested in, because with TV, we know your mother introduced you to it. But then with dancing, with hip hop, when did you get the bug? How did you get to be a part of Kryptonite Dance Academy?
Yo, being a part of Kryptonite Dance Academy was like a long, like super long story till I get to Kryptonite Dance Academy. But in terms of dancing for me started around about the same time as TV though. Cause going back to that story of the talent show.
Talent
So what
show,
happened
yes.
was the talent show was going on, the posters were put up and everything there. And they were like, okay, come through an audition to be part of the talent show. So I go through to audition, and then from there, I was the only person like in the junior phase who actually was auditioning for it. And they were like, yo, you know what? It's okay. You'll just be part of the entertainment. I wouldn't actually be competing for the prize, that thing, but I would just be involved in like entertaining the crowd during the breakers, that thing, all those things. And I'm like, okay, I wait, sharp, cool. Fast forward, now the talent show is around the corner. They haven't seen my talent. I also don't know what my talent is. I thought my talent was singing. So, let's talent show thing. I tell her like that confidence. I don't get all bela. I don't talk bela and get Leona Lewis, Bleeding in Love. Hey man, serious. So I don't even know the lyrics of the song. I'm feeling the song. I'm passionate. I'm here. Oh, yes. And my sister's like, yo, this whole singing thing,
It's
how
not for
about
you, yes.
it's not for you? And how about because I mean, like, Michael Jackson or Chris Brown, or when Ciara comes up on the TV, you know, you'll be copying the moves and you're actually a bit good. You have some rhythm, yeah. So how about we try dancing? Then I'm like, okay, sharp. So then from there, I watched a couple of videos here and there. My sister also taught me like a couple of moves, like little moves, yeah. And then it was a thing like, okay, now just go out there, have fun with it. Then I performed at the talent show, got some really good reception. And when I got some really good reception, I was like, you know what? I like this. I enjoy this. I just might keep on doing this. And then since then, I just kept on dancing. Then eventually, I joined the dance academy, competed with that dance academy. Eventually, I went to Kryptonite because I always looked up to Eugene and Zoe for the leaders of the studio. They've always been like my goats. So I went to Kryptonite Dance Academy, and then, yeah, it felt like a family. The family did some big things. And luckily, one of those big things was winning Asia's Got Talent.
And I think for me, that was when my crush intensified, because
Oh.
I watched you and I didn't see Thato, the TV presenter. I saw Thato, the team player. Now, talk me through the importance of being humble and not looking to be a star in a setup where you're expected to work as a team.
I think I also used to struggle with this, you know, because being on TV, you know, it's it's like a solo thing in a way, you know, but then dancing really taught me the importance of teamwork, because dancing made me realize, if I want to win, because I want to win at the end of the day, as much as I want to shine and I want to be that guy in the center and everything, winning is more
You're very
important than
competitive as
shining.
well.
Yeah, winning is more important than shining. So I was like, yo, I can shine alone, sharp, but to win, I'm going to need the entire team to come with me. I'm going to need the entire team to be at their best. And then I realized that what I can do in terms of me shining is that I can shine to encourage my teammates and my team players to also let their light out and shine. That way we can come together, work as a unit, all of us at our best, all of us working at 100%. And us coming together and being 100%, our team is going to be 100%. If the team is 100%, guaranteed we are going to win. So being part of that experience really taught me how to take a bit of a step back, and allow other people to come up so that my strengths can complement their weaknesses, their strengths can complement my weaknesses, and then together and we can do really big things. So
That's really
that's what
profound, right?
dancing taught me. Yeah.
So now your TV has been a startup for so many people. I'm talking the likes of Lumko, Akumzi, Mosa, Karabo, Candice Modiselle. Being exposed to those people, how would you say it has helped you perfect your craft?
I think one thing that's dope is that when you look at your TV presenters, even the presenters that are on right now, we're all different. None of us
Very.
present the same way. We're all different. Like, we all really, really different. So being around those type of energies and being around those type of people gave me so many different perspectives and so many different, I don't want to call it styles, but so many different styles of presenting, if I could put it that way. So some things I learned from Candice, the way that she handles interviews. I learned from Akumzi the way that he handles interacting with fans with the show. I learned from Jessica how to be calm, under any situation. When your earpiece is going crazy, how to be able to listen. So many different people. I got so many pieces from Lumko. I learned how to be myself. From Gift, I learned how to be funny. How to incorporate jokes and incorporate my own personality in everything that I do. So being around all these individuals really taught me so much, because it was a thing of like, there was always a certain quality that they had that I wanted to have. And then I always study them, always look at them. Then eventually I learned that quality. I think I take it, put it in my bag, keep it moving, learn a different quality, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. So I think it'd be a bit of a stretch, Yana, but I really do feel like I'm sort of like I'm like one big mesh of all their qualities in a way. Being around them has really turned me into that, yeah.
I want to ask you, do you realize that you are the Mosamtogozi Mtombeni of this generation? Because of this generation of your TV presenters, because Musa was doing Let's Get Quizzical, right? And you're doing a similar show. And because you know what it took to get there, and also having the privilege to be exposed to the likes of Musa, does it then make it easier for you to mentor now the new presenters that have joined the show?
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. We've never seen it sort of like as mentoring, but it was always a thing of like, the little bit of information that I have, what I can share with you, I'll share with you. That's always been the case, from the presenters that came before me to the presenters who are new onto the show, to just everyone in that I've ever worked with. It's always been a thing of like, what I know, I can share with you. Till this day, I still hit up some of the old presenters, just ask for some tips and advice on certain things. And where they're able to help, they help me out, So I wouldn't really call it mentoring, but it's always been a thing of like, the little bit that I know, that I have, I'll share it with you. So even with the new presenters and stuff, man, like small things, because they dope already. It's just a thing of like, they so dope already. But whenever they ask me a question like, yo, how do you handle interviews? How do you do this? How do you do that? I'm always willing and able to share that information. Yeah.
Now, talk me through the transition. You are moving from high school to varsity. It's two different worlds. But then you move, and then you get to host the Yale Village Academic Awards. You get to MC for some of the residences that are from the university. Talk me through the importance of being able to reinvent yourself in different setups as you grow along life.
I think one thing that I love, is going to sound like a breganyana, but one thing that I really love about myself is that, and I realized this as I was busy growing up as a kid, I'm able to relate to so many people. I'm comfortable in being myself in any situation and in any space that I'm in. And because I'm able to do that, you can put me literally in any space, whether it's a bougie academic dinner or whether it's just a crazy wild party, Yako, Yale Village, whatever it might be. You can put me in any space and I'll adapt to it, because I'm able to relate to so many people in so many different ways. So in terms of reinventing myself, I think it wasn't so much reinventing myself, but it was a thing of like tapping into certain qualities or certain energies within myself that I didn't know that I had. Like emceeing a party. I had never emceed a party in my entire life until that point. I had done some bougie things like Woody Mr. and Miss, Woody, like the academic dinner, like bougie things like that. I had been an MC at those type of events, but emceeing a party was something I had never done, So I think it was just more of a thing like just tapping into things that were hidden within me that I could check out. Yeah.
So you speak about being comfortable in your own skin. I want to know, in a space where there's so many expectations from you, who inculcated that, and then how do you then grow to cement it and keep it like that?
In what? Yeah?
Inculcate when it's inculcate.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
who
was the
instills that? Okay, let me lower it down. Who instilled that in you?
Okay, there we go. There we go. Who installed? Hold up. Just run back the question again. Hey, Kalukanyaka was stuck with inculcate that. Huh? Come on, yeah.
New word we learn every day. You spoke about being comfortable in your own skin, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in who instilled that in you. And most importantly, how do you keep up with it? You know, in a world or an industry that is constantly having expectations from you.
Man, I think yeah, all I want to mudi comment and answer. Really, I say you inculcating. Don't act like I was the only one. Yeah, please.
Wait.
Anyway, my bad, bad situations. But in terms of that, I think it was just the people that I saw. Like, for example, the people that I grew up around, the presenters that I grew up around, the old presenters that I grew up around. Gift, for example, Gift is the best example. Gift was himself in every single situation. You know, that's why I learned that, yo, it's actually cool to be you. It's really cool to be you. People will connect to you because you are being you, because you're authentically you. And when I saw that in him, that's one of the qualities that I took away from him, because I was like, okay, sharp. If this is the way, if people are accepting him for who he is, let me see what it would feel like
They
if
could
I
do
was
the same
myself.
with you.
Yeah, exactly. So then when I tried being myself, when I started being myself, I realized that the reception was even better because people were not connecting to me. And whenever I'd be out in public, wouldn't feel like I can show what's because at all times I would be myself. So I think really just the people that I had around me, the people that I looked up to, I realized how it worked for them, being themselves. And then I was like, all right, cool, bet. I'm gonna do the exact same thing for me.
Okay. You were such a giver as well. Let's talk about the KFC project. Please tell us a bit about it. I know you do it with your friends. How did it come about? And what was the motive behind it?
Mm. It was just it's actually crazy because me and the boys, the government, you guys don't know what the government is. That's like my really, really close friends. Paul, Malcolm,
Karabo.
Razo, Karabo. Okay, Karabo. Chavo, it's just Tim, a whole lot of gents in jail. If I forgot your name, it's but anyway, so me and the boys, we're chilling in class. It was Mandela Day. And naturally, yeah, like from the beginning of the year, when we started linking up as mates, we had always said that we actually want to do something, we actually want to show some love. Because I remember this one time when we took a walk through Braam and we saw a couple like homeless guys, and we're like, yo, man, it'd be really dope if we as a government actually came together and did something for the homies, you know? So Mandela Day comes around, I'm there, Malcolm is there, Mpo is there, Razo's there. We're busy chilling, and then we decided, yo, man, give Mandela Day. We've always been looking forward to, you know, to doing something special for the homies. How about we just, you know, we do something? How much do you have on you? All right, cool. This is how much I have. Malcolm Cheruka, Malcolm Abua, Mpo Cheruka, Mpo Abua, Razo Cheruka, Razo Abua, I was like, you know what? It would also be even dope if we actually got to document this thing so we can be able to encourage even other more people to actually go out there and, you know, follow suit and do the exact same thing. So we put up to KFC, we buy the things. After buying the things, we're like, okay, sharp, let's start shooting it. We start shooting the thing, we shoot it, we go all around Brown, we do it, and then eventually, I edit the thing, I chop it up, I put it on Instagram, and the whole motive behind that whole thing was just, one, we wanted to give out. We wanted to give out to the people that, you know, we feel as though we're really underappreciated. And then two, we really just wanted to encourage you more people to go out there looking about the exact same thing. Because I mean, a Streetwise 2 is so cheap, bro. Streetwise 2 is like $20, you know? And each and every single one of us, we're save 20 rand or 20 rand or something like that. So just go out there and help out whichever way that you can. So that was the whole mindset, yeah.
Now, have you proposed for KFC to come on board in terms of helping you with doing it at a greater scale? And also, what do you wish to see it?
Yeah, that's a tough question. Okay.
That's me. Come on. I'm kidding.
In terms of approaching KFC now, that was never like the plan. Like in terms of getting KFC on board, like was never a thing of like, okay, shop, now I want to push this thing. Actually have like some brand association now. But in terms of where I'd like to see it someday, it's definitely I feel as though someday, hopefully soon, I really want to start a foundation. So I feel as though that would be a certain element and a certain part of the foundation that they, yeah, that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to, okay, let me put it like this. Let me explain this. You guys can't laugh at me, but this is one of like my aspirations in life, man. So I've always had, I don't want to call it sympathy. I've always had like a bit of a compassion towards homeless people because there's a lot of homeless people, you know, like there's no way you can drive through Krugersdorp and not see a homeless guy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So growing up around that type of space, my mindset has always been a thing of like, if only there was a way or a certain place where, you know, not just a shelter in jail, but a place where we can take people from the streets, put them into these spaces, help them rehabilitate themselves, give them some skills, teach them certain things, and send them out there to go find jobs, you know. I believe in that, and that's what I would like to see it become someday in the future. Not just a thing of us just giving them food or giving them shelter, but us really helping these people change their lives. So yeah, that's what I'd like to see it someday.
Now, for someone in your caliber, being in the mainstream, being in one of the biggest channels in the country, it's very easy for everyone to want to be a part of your circle, to want to be, you know, in your friends and everything. How do you separate from people who are there with genuine intentions and those who are there for the spotlight?
We don't separate, you know. There's no criteria that I judge my friends by. My whole thing
Okay.
is you let time do its thing. You know, time is a beautiful thing because time will really show you who's actually there, who's your real homie, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
if you look at, let's just take last year for example. I come to varsity, all week vibes. I had so many gents around me, so many people who quote unquote were friends, you know. Yeah, sure, Thato, yeah, I know you, boy, you're a homie, so on and so on and so on and so on. But then a year later, a number that was probably around 20 or so has been chopped down to 5 gents. You see what it
Mm-hmm.
is? So it's a thing of like, just take the time and let the time do its thing. Because time will actually do its thing of weeding out the people who aren't real and the people who actually are real. Because the people who are real will stick with you through it all, man. I mean, for example, you look at Paul, he's in the comments over there. Paul from day one to this day.
And I think the most interesting part about Mpo that is that he didn't know you were on TV. He caught
Exactly.
up much later that you are
Exactly.
on TV.
Exactly. That's the thing. So that's why I'm like, you know, in terms of that, there's no criteria to it, but it's just always a thing of letting time do its thing. Because time really will show you who's really tight with you.
Mm-hmm.
Time really will show you who you can depend on, who you can speak to, who you can trust with your information, man. So yeah, time. Time is my only thing.
We know you as a television presenter. We know you as someone who is a dancer. What are some of your other passions that people do not know about?
Other passions. I think music is one of my passions. Not making music though.
But you were told to leave that thing alone. You were
No,
told.
I want. That's like not making music. I'm passionate about music, but not in a. I'm like I really love appreciating music. So in terms of my passion towards music, how I would channel that into something would be sort of like creating a show or creating a platform where it's all about really engaging with upcoming artists. You know, really putting them on a platform where they're able to actually share their lives out to so many people. Not just doing it the SoundCloud way, we just post a link or whatever, but something bigger, something more interactive with people. So that's how I would say I'm passionate about music. I'm passionate about it in that way because I really love music and I really appreciate it a lot. What else am I passionate about? I'm passionate about fitness. Yeah, that's also something I'm really passionate about that people don't know about. I love working out. I love exercising. I believe that health is wealth. And I believe once in a while, we need to just take care of ourselves, man. So that's definitely one of my passions. Looks at acting.
Last but not least, in our endeavor to make South Africa a reading nation, please suggest a book. I know you read. I know we once had a dilemma about books and borrowing each other
You
and
wanted to steal
everything.
my book. You wanted to steal my book. That's what
So
happened.
please suggest a book that has changed or impacted your life in a way. And briefly tell us what's it about, recommend it to people, who is the author. I know it's difficult to kind of narrow it to one,
Yeah,
you know, having read so many books.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to put it together. Let me look around. What's on my table? Let me see what's on my table. This is a question you should have asked me before this interview. I'd come prepared. I want to know. I think for now I'll go. But the Alchemist is too. The Alchemist get lost in the sauce. Let's go. Think Better, Live Better. Think Better, Live Better by Joel Osteen. I think a lot of people really need to read that book because.
Joel Osteen.
No,
Who's the author?
Joel Osteen. Yeah,
Oh,
since
okay.
Jonas gave
I'm
way.
out here thinking about the comedian.
Nah.
All right.
Think Better, Live Better by Joel Osteen. That book really helped me reshape the way that I saw myself, really helped me change my self-image and the way that I see myself. And I believe that if a lot of people were to read that book, especially if you're Christian, you believe in God, that's definitely the book to go for in terms of releasing your self-esteem when you're in the confidence within yourself and identifying with the image that God created you in. So yeah, definitely that book.
Okay, before I let you go, I'm going to ask you to have your closing sentiments. I know there are people who would like to be where you are. I know there are people who are not patient with themselves, who are not willing to put in the work. As someone who's been there and has done it, I'd like for you to have your closing sentiments before I let you go.
Okay. Yo, listen, I love what this generation has in store. You see what happens when you keep your phone like this? Ang nasa bil kommente yan, gara. Wara.
Man
But
retry na malala, ang girotol na malala. How?
awa. But in terms of my closing sentiments, man, guys, the time that we're living in right now is a really crazy time. There's a lot that's happening in the world right now. And I feel as though that even coming out of this whole lockdown and coming out of this pandemic, things are gonna get a whole lot more worse before they get any better. So what I would like to say to you guys is just always keep your head focused on what's in front of you. You know, too many people always keep their head up, trying to see what's happening around them, what's happening behind them, what's happening on top of them, what's happening below them. But it's always a thing like just keep your head focused on what's in front of you. You know, whether the course, whether it's schoolwork, whether it's whether to raising a family, whatever it might be, just always keep your head focused on what's in front of you because that's where you're headed. Always keep your head focused there and always keep moving in that direction. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed by the many things that are happening around you. I'm not saying don't be aware. Be aware. You know, be aware of what's happening in the world, but don't ever
Stay
allow
focused as
anything.
well.
Yeah, stay focused and don't ever allow anything to overwhelm you, man. It's crazy times that we're living in, but I believe that if all of us were to keep our heads in front of us, we really could change this world, man, because then we'd always be focused on what's next and what's better. So yeah, those are my closing
Oh,
sentences.
and that's it. Thank you very much, Thato, for making my dream come true. First things first. I don't see any questions by the comment section, so I'm thinking people are kind of satisfied with what they got there.
Yeah.
Last but not least, how Thato Dithebe. Thato Dithebe ngithanda wena. Thank you so much, Tato. We love you, and we wish you the best with all your endeavors from now on forwards. We're looking forward to seeing you at greater heights, and of course with your TV. Good luck with everything with school. You're about to write in 3 weeks now, so exams are in 3 weeks. I'm lying.
The test
Anyway,
Don't
Tato, we love you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yo, wait, before keep pushing the purpose and dominance, keep pushing that in sale, keep going at it. A lot of people need to hear what you have to say. I've always believed that you are somebody with a strong voice, somebody with a strong opinion. And I believe that, many people need to hear your opinion, need to hear what you have to say. Because I believe that in that way, you know what I mean? Special things gonna come out of the youth. Special things are gonna come out of our generation because we have people like you. So yeah, that's what it is.
Thank you so much, man. I really think that means a lot. It comes from someone whom, when I was preparing to go to school fixing my tie, he was there. Ikamala Mingi Munundu presenting the show. I know I bugged you
You're out of order.
so much with that. And now to have you say that to me a couple of years later, it really means a lot. I used to watch you. Now I have you talk to me. And man, I'm truly, truly grateful.
Now the more WhatsApp,
Hey, as Offensa says,
Yes,
all right, Tato, all the best. Goodbye, and thank you very much. This episode will also be uploaded on my YouTube channel. You can catch it at Dynamite. The link is also on my bio there. Thank you very much for joining us. And yeah, see you tomorrow. We will be joined by Kiriboni Sekretela, education enthusiast, and we will be talking all things her life on the Pebbles and Dominance show. See you tomorrow.